Hey, what's up? Hey, I'm doing this right here is a record challenge by the Metal, Metal, not metal, Metal of Honor YouTube show with Reverend Dave Wallace. This is the Dave's Devil's Dozen record challenge, and I'll put all the info in the comments and you can link to it. Make sure you go to his page and subscribe to his show. Anyhow, we're gonna go through this challenge. I'm gonna read them as they go along, and like I said, I'll put all the info in the comments so you can do it. And this is he does it about records, but you can do it on CDs, cassettes, and if you're camera shy about video, you can do it one a day, and just show the record and give a little explanation about it. But it's talking metal stuff, so it's cool. All right, we're going to start off right now. The first one, record number one in the Dave's Devil's Dozen, hashtag, that's a hashtag by the way, is an album whose art is amazing, but musically falls short. And my pick for this, and keep in mind that I think this is a good record, but the artwork does not fit the music, is Uriah Heep's Abominog. Now, look at that. Now keep in mind that Uriah Heep have hard rock and / metal cred. And actually, this is the album that Lee Kerslake and Bob Daisley, Lee Kerslake was originally in Uriah Heep, but he came back and he brought Bob with him and they did this record. This is right after they did the two Ozzy records, which is another story entirely. But yeah, Abominog, this album right here. It's a good hard rock record, but that picture doesn't match what's on the record. Just saying, it is what it is. Go look it up on YouTube. It's a good record. Now, we're going to album number 2 now. If this one is if you had none of your albums left, and you had to have a starting point, I guess, for building your collection again, which album would it be to start all over? And without a doubt, it's Black Sabbath, Sabotage. It's 99% the perfect heavy metal album, in my opinion. The only flaw is the album cover. Goes kind of back to the first one right here. Now this, if this had Sabbath Bloody Sabbath's artwork, this would be the perfect heavy metal album. But unfortunately, no. They got Bill Ward wearing see-through pants but if you do not have this album in your collection and you call yourself a metalhead, shame on you.
Maybe you should get some pants like that.
I ain't getting no pants like that, woman. Okay. Now this one is album with awesome vinyl itself. The vinyl itself is the awesome feature of the record. Now, while it's not metal, in the 70s, you could easily classify these guys as hard rock. And they're named after a river in hell. So, they get into this. Now, this is Styx's Paradise Theater. Right here. Now you're going to say, what's so cool about this vinyl itself? Well, I'm going to show you. I've really only seen 3 albums that incorporate this. If there's more, feel free to comment on it. But is the Superman 2 soundtrack. There's a Rush album where it does the little Starman thing. But the vinyl itself, it's got laser. I don't know. Can you see that? You see that where it's got it etched into the vinyl like a laser etching?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not like.
I see it. Yeah.
It's built into the vinyl itself. It's not
fancy.
Yeah, it's pretty fancy vinyl.
That is pretty
Superman 2 soundtrack does this too. And it's pretty cool. I dig it. So, I'm putting it in a heavy metal thing because I count that. I count it. If you're going to name yourself after a river in hell, well, then you got to have some sort of metal cred.
While you're putting that back in there, see my shoes, everybody?
Those are my shoes.
My shoes.
Now,
Carry on.
this next one, number 4, is your favorite workout album. And if you look at me and you see me in real life, it's painfully obvious that I don't work out. But there's a caveat on here. It's an album. It can also be an album you want to punch somebody to and kick their ass. Now that I got an aggression album that's since 1986 when it debuted. It's been my go-to every time I get pissed off. That is Slayer's Rain in Blood. This is right around 30 minutes of solid ass kick. That's all you need. The cassette was so cool, it just flipped over and played the same album again. It's awesome. Yeah, this one right here. Rain in Blood. I ain't joking. Yeah, that right there. Badass. Alright. Number 5 is favorite album by a band after they've had a major lineup change. And this one's probably going to have a lot of repeats in the lists, which is fine because it duly deserves it. Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell. When Ozzy left, or got fired, it depends on how you look at that. I think he got fired because Bill Ward expressed great remorse in having to do the deed. But this right here, gosh, this is such a beautiful record. Heaven and Hell. Oh, once again.
Heaven and hell.
Yeah, that right there. Number 5. Okay, number 6 is a favorite non-metal album.
6.
Okay, and in all of my music listening since I was old enough to put the needle on the record myself, is this one's gotten more play than probably anything in my collection. C.W. McCall's Black Bear Red. You're going, who's C.W. McCall?
Who's C.W. McCall?
Yeah, well,
that's what you're saying.
C.W. McCall is probably best known for his song Convoy, which is on this record. Now, my dad was a truck driver, so there was no shortage of truck driving music in my house in the 70s. Now, if you know anything about trucker history and all that, CBs and trucker lingo and stuff was hot in the 70s for about 5 minutes. Well, my dad had this in his collection, and I played the hell out of it. I've got about 10 copies of this in my collection because it hasn't been released on CD ever. So I make sure that I always have a good clean copy around. Or if I think somebody is deserving of listening to this magic, then yeah. Now, a side note, the band on this and the whole driving force behind C.W. McCall, that's not the dude's name. It's not his real name, anyhow. Is a Mannheim Steamroller. Just a little trivia there. Right there.
C.W. Woo!
Favorite non-metal album. Now, number 7 is an album that makes you have instant memory recall. Like a good memory, bad memory. It's something. It's just what most music does this, but there's always that 1 or 2 albums that really trigger memories. Now mine is Kiss Unmasked. When I was a kid, I was 8 years old when this came out, 1980. So yeah, I'm old. Anyhow, I remember my brother and I wanting to go to TG&Y. That's a store that used to exist back in the day, and we wanted to go buy records. And we're kids, our allowance didn't cover it, so my mom and dad were security guards at a refinery, and they wanted us to, if we wanted money, we had to go earn it. So they let us loose in the parking lot with all the cars to pick up aluminum cans and said, okay, you can go earn money and see if you can get enough to go buy albums. And what happened was we're over there and we're along this fence line, and there's a $20 bill. And so I picked that $20 bill up, and it was like magic because I ended up with this record, and I spent the rest of the money on Taco Tico. It was a good day. And I played that. This is my second favorite Kiss album.
I know what the first one is. You want to go ahead?
Yeah, what's the first one then?
The Elder.
That is correct. You win the prize.
Ba-boom.
All right.
Fancy.
Now here is number 8 is the artist, an artist that left a great band but had a great solo career. Now that's not always the case. Sometimes singers and guitar players leave the bands and their solo career doesn't quite keep up. But we're gonna call this one a win because
Holy Diver.
yeah, Ronnie James Dio, Holy Diver, and it's arguable that he left 3 bands. He left Elf, and you can say that Elf wasn't a great band, but it was good enough that Richie Blackmore hired that band to be his backing band on the first Rainbow album, which brings it to the other band that he quit, Rainbow, and then he ended up getting a Black Sabbath gig after the Rainbow gig, and then he did this after he left. So
and who got to see him in concert?
yeah, shut up, woman, shut up. This one right here. Now, number 9
Great
is
record.
number 9 is a controversial. Now this isn't a full album, but the thing that makes this count is that it was supposed to be on a full album, but it was controversial enough, and I don't care what anybody says. There's nothing controversial these days. Nothing. You aren't shocking anybody anymore. It ain't happening. So I'm going back to 1984, and this came out. It shocked people, and it's Wasp's "Animal Fuck Like a Beast." Now this isn't shocking by today's standards, but back then a guy with the saw blade codpiece with blood all over it. It shocked people enough that Capitol Records did not want to include this on Wasp's debut album, so they allowed them to go to an independent label and put out a single, which is this. Now they've remastered and reissued the debut album with this back on it, but this is back in the day. Tipper Gore and the PMRC did not like this. I don't know why, because if you had ever seen the KFD tour they did, it got a lot more severe than this. So you can look that up on YouTube. All right.
Hi, Angus.
Now, number 10 is a better sophomore album than the debut. So I thought about this, and there's several of them, but it's a matter of taste. But I went with Anthrax, Spreading the Disease.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, nothing against Neil Turbin and the first Anthrax album, but this one raised the bar because they got Joey in the band, and I mean, when they start off with AIR on here and you hear that, it meant business, and this is just a great record. And believe it or not, they topped this with the record that came after this. Anthrax, awesome stuff, awesome. All right, number 11 is my favorite live album with amazing packaging. Now, Dave got the Anthrax live album, which is great. And they had the Kiss, you've seen it on his video. But my pick is Kiss Alive 2, which had amazing packaging for the fact that, I'll show you here. It came with the standard Kiss order form, so you could buy more goodies. It had them, they've been doing it forever. They know how to get your dough. And then, secondly,
They sure know how to get you.
is the booklet that came with it. It had a book kind of like the first Alive album, The Evolution of Kiss, and each one gets their own page, and it's cool. But when I got this, by the way was the first Kiss album I ever bought, Well, actually, it was given to me as a gift on my birthday in 1978. But this is the first Kiss album I ever owned. This right here, it came with tattoos, rub-on tattoos. Now in 1978, you know, your 6-year-old gets this record. First thing he does when he gets it is rub on the tattoos.
Not Dean.
Oh, I did. I rubbed this. I had to search high and low for this back in the day. And you pay for it, too. But, I mean, when you look at live albums and see that, I mean, that right there. Yeah. Every kid my age back in the day thought that was just badass. And look at this. There's no band gonna do this. No band gonna keep up with that. No, it just ain't gonna happen. That's bombast beyond belief. And you can say what you want about their musical ability or what they do. That's a show. So that right there is my favorite live album with great packaging. Now, number 12 is an album cover that's disturbing for even a seasoned metalhead. And I don't get disturbed. I really don't. I don't get bothered by much. The pick that I did have, I don't have anymore. It's Scorpions Virgin Killer. It's the cover is a 10-year-old girl naked on the cover, and that disturbs me. I don't deal with it. Matter of fact, I got rid of it because I didn't want to have it. It's kind of like you know, back in the day, 80s, when people had Tracy Lord's videos. They don't want to have them because, you know, she wasn't of age. You know. Anyhow, the one I picked was it's not disturbing to me. Only the fact that it looks mighty painful and uncomfortable. Like I said, nothing shocks me. You could go with Dawn of the Black Hearts by Mayhem. You could go with, you know, the early Carcass albums. But, you know, like I said, that's just gory. Nothing really disturbing. Okay, Dawn of the Black Hearts may be a little disturbing. It's Mayhem live bootleg. But the one I picked was the original proposed cover of Pantera's Far Beyond Driven. It's a guy spreading his ass cheeks with a 8-inch auger blade going into his rectum. Not particularly something I'm interested in at all, but that's just, I mean, it's more uncomfortable than disturbing. So, anyhow, that's my picks. Make your own. Make sure to hashtag Dave's Devil's Dozen. I'll put the info and the list down in the comments. And feel free to do this. And go to Metal, METAL, of Honor with Reverend Dave Wallace on YouTube. Subscribe to his channel. He does the main show, and then he does a lot of side shows that are great. And what's more fun if you're a metalhead than talking metal with other metalheads? So go subscribe. Thank you. And I'm out.
And hey, you need a show too.